Have you ever wondered why it's so difficult to get better at golf when you spend hours and hours of constant practice at the driving range? Well, there's a drill that could change everything for you. Instead of grinding effortlessly, this one drill I'm going to show you could unlock power, control, and consistency in your golf game. Things that we're always chasing as golfers in just a fraction of the time. And this is all to do with the way the right arm works in the golf swing. Now, the right arm plays such a huge impact in the overall golf swing. As we see a lot of amateur golfers, they'll have that tendency of allowing this right arm to work more this way, where we get the elbow flaring outwards. So if we're going to be setting it more this way, we're going to try and work in reaction and get the club to do the opposite. Opens the club face, we've got to then fight it last minute, jump out the way, out of our posture in reaction to this. Same thing if we just allow it to get up to the top like this here. The elbow's going to want to come back out. So we've got to push it back out like this here in reaction. And again, we've got to try and extend upwards. Otherwise, we're going to be hitting the ground massively first. The tour players, the most consistent tour players, will always have this backswing set in a very reliable position, very short, compact, controlled, to get that downswing working in their favor. So they can bring the downswing back down in that same motion, keeping everything in the golf swing so simple. Because how long does that downswing take for the golf swing? When you're hitting a golf shot, it takes less than a second. So you haven't got enough time to try and manipulate the club, get this reaction to take place from this poor movement that's took place throughout that backswing. So to begin with the right arm then, one of the first key checkpoints that we like to look at is the way the right arm sets in the setup position. So obviously for left-handed golf, it's going to be the left arm. So it's all to do with the trail arm at the setup position. Now, what we notice a lot of golfers do is they'll set their right arm, their trail arm like this here, with the elbow facing towards this camera angle here. Now, what happens when we do this is the arm gets what we call very much so internally rotated to the body. So if I show you from this angle here, internal rotation means the rotation towards the body. So internal is towards you. So as we get this internal rotation to set up to the golf ball to begin with, it's very easy to take the club back up until to about this point here. But as soon as I start to take it back, I have to drag the club upwards to try and finish off my backswing. So what I want you to make sure is that the right arm is set in this externally rotated position. So the elbow's facing towards the body. And how I've just done this here is I would just take my right palm, have it facing towards me, get it facing away from you, then just twist the hand and grip the club like so. So that allows you then to set this arm into an externally rotated position. Then we just twist in the wrist so we can grip the club as normal. So when I make my way into the swing with this right arm set in that position, it makes it very easy for me to allow this movement here to take place, where we're just allowing that arm to fold more naturally on the way into the first part of the golf swing, which is the next bit we're going to be looking at. You can see here when I'm doing that, my elbow continues to face towards the body as we take the club to parallel to the ground. Now, the key for this is to make sure throughout the backswing really, but the takeaway in particular, the key is to ensure that that elbow is facing towards the body. It's always facing towards the body. As soon as we almost get this pulling chain effect to take the club into the backswing, look what happens. The arm, although it's staying fairly connected to me, it's dragging that elbow further behind. All I'm feeling like I'm doing really is forming a bicep curl. So I'm taking the club, I'm just gripping it down here just to make it easier for me, but I'm bicep curling this arm into that first point in the golf swing that we like to look at. The club reaches parallel to the ground, arm folds beautifully. Taking the left arm on, nice and straight, very good set position to start that golf swing. As we make our way into the full swing, there's two things you ought to be ensuring you're doing with this movement. So obviously we've got that folding motion, keeping that elbow facing towards the body. Now, to continue this motion, we're forming a full bicep curl and we're allowing our body to begin rotating. Okay, so when we have a look at this angle here from face on, and I just begin to rotate, I'm just trying to get my back to face towards the target, and as I make my way to where the club shaft itself is pointing towards the ground, from my eye angle and this camera angle over here, you should be able to see that butt end of the club is pointing at the golf ball. So from this angle here, we're continuing to get this bicep curl, getting that butt end to face the golf ball, and that helps us then begin to rotate into the top of the golf swing. And when you're doing this, it's so important that we keep this right arm connected to the body. As I mentioned before, the tour players themselves, they allow this connection to take place up to the top of the swing. So to do this, I'm going to get you to take a little crease underneath your arm. We're practicing that first movement, getting the arm set, allowing it to fold up to this point here, and then we're making our way into the second point, adding that rotation a little bit more, butt end of the club facing towards the golf ball, and then we're building this up into the top of the golf swing. Really great controlled position, makes it so much easier to form that downswing. And just before I dive into how the right arm, the bonus tip on the downswing should work for this, if this is one of your first videos of mine, welcome to the channel. If you'd like to be a part of the community, why not drop a comment down below of a tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover in a future video. Now we've got this backswing set position, how can we then apply this into the downswing? So I'm going to take a golf ball here, and I want you to imagine, you can do this as well when you're practicing this at the driving range, or even so better, get yourself down to a lake or a beach and get a stone. Because what I want you to do is I want you to practice that move, holding onto the golf ball or stone as if you were to skim a stone. So when you make your way up to the top of the swing, focusing on those movements there, from the top of the swing, what would happen if you were to try and skim the stone and try and throw that stone as far as you could? You would do this action here. So you can see here my body's beginning to rotate out the way as if we were to throw a golf ball, but you can also see the way my arm sets here. The elbow comes towards the body, doesn't it? It doesn't flare away from the body, it is moving this way. It's moving towards the body. And you can see that the way my wrist sets, that's going to be a very powerful action for you here. Taking two hands onto the golf club, and that gets us set to continue rotating and allow that release to naturally take place. So throwing the golf ball, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to get my editor afterwards to get this in slow-mo from this camera angle here and the one down the target line. So here, and you could see there, if we do that in slow motion, have a look at those two swings on the camera now, you can see that as I begin to rotate, I've really executed with my body. I've rotated the body, but I've also got this arm set towards the body. So a very simple way of practicing this is just throwing golf balls as far as you can, or skimming a stone will be even better because you're doing this action here as opposed to trying to throw overarm. We want to get that underarm skimming throw motion through the swing. And that's going to help you get that swing sequence with the club on the downswing, where we're starting with the lower body. Then we continue from working from the hip upwards, allowing that arm, that elbow to stay working, connected with the body. And then we release on the way through. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to GX Golf just before I hit this golf shot. They provide high quality golf clubs for a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors, and using my discount code Harry10 you can get yourself a great 10% discount off their bundled packages. I'd recommend checking them out if you're in the market to getting some new golf gloves. So I'm going to try now and implement all those things and see if I can get myself very close to the pin. That was a really nice hit. That might be a bit too big. I hit that very well. Oh, perfect. First attempt, carry of 184 yards, 186 to the hole, so around 6 feet away. So really happy with that for the first shot. And all I thought about then was folding that right arm correctly, elbow facing the body. And as soon as I got to the top, I was skimming that stone, and that felt so easy to do. And I can guarantee it's going to feel very easy, and it's going to get addictive when you start getting used to this. I can guarantee that as well. So if you've enjoyed this video, why not comment down below the tips or drills topic you'd like me to cover next. Make sure you check out this video over here, because now we've got you working on how the right arm should work in the backswing. How should the left arm work? How should the left arm work? The left arm's there for control. The right arm there is to set the club into position. So I'd recommend checking that video out and seeing what you think of that one as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the very next video.